Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan. This is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases for Saturday the 14th of March. And do I have a treat for you, or does Games Workshop have a treat for you? Wow. So this is the channel. If you haven't already subscribed yet, I strongly suggest you do. You can click the bell icon if you really want. I mean, at the moment I'm releasing a video every day, and I usually release them in the morning between 7 and 9 AM GMT. So it's up to you if you want to click the bell icon, but if you just check the channel about that time or in the afternoon or something, then I'll have a new video up. And at the moment the format is typically unboxings and reviews throughout the week. Recently, for the past couple of months or so, I've been squeezing in a Warhammer 40k Conquest first look and review video, for 2 days of the week. My Warhammer Wednesday video, I like to keep them as a review, and I like to keep it as like a special review or special video. The Saturdays are, well, this video and any unboxings for any of the new releases that Games Workshop release. And then the Sunday, again, is either a bit of a special video or just a review or a grandiose unboxing or something like that. I think last weekend I did a big unboxing of all the Space Marine Heroes Series 2. So that was a little bit, out of the ordinary. But if you'd like to subscribe and support the channel that way, you can do. As I've mentioned many times before, I don't do this as my job. I have a full-time job and then a couple of part-time jobs, and that funds the channel. So Games Workshop or no one else sends me anything for free to review or unbox. I do this whole channel off my own back. But if you'd like to support the channel via Patreon, I do have a Patreon page. A couple of subscribers suggested I create one. It didn't come from myself, if that makes sense. But if you can donate $1 a month, that would really help out. And the more Patreons I have, the more opportunities I can get in terms of bringing you the White Dwarf. I used to bring you the White Dwarf every month, and I had to withdraw from that. But that's something that I'd like to bring back, give you a first look and review of the White Dwarf magazine every month. And if you can't support the channel for like $1 a month, at least buy all of your models from Element Games. They ship worldwide. There's over 246 countries they ship to. You get 20% off. Look, as you can see there, it says 20% off Sisters of Battle, Adeptus Sororitas. So you can pick up, like the Emulator is supposed to be 45, you can pick it up for 36, and you get free delivery on over 80. I think it used to be free delivery over 100, but now they've dropped it to 80, which is awesome. And they do dispatch very quickly, same day dispatch, first class. So typically if you ordered something early that morning, you probably get it the next day, which is excellent service, and I can't recommend them enough. But please do use the affiliate link in the description box below, because then that helps the channel out by telling Element Games that I've told you about them. Okay, let's get straight in there into the big news. Unfortunately, Adepticon is cancelled. More on that in a moment, and that's because of the pesky old virus that's going around. Let's just go back a week ago, which would have been the 7th of March or so. So right here, there was new from Black Library. There was the Seraphim and other start collecting sets. I'm so pleased I held out and didn't buy the Gloomspite Gits start collecting set, which, never have this fear of missing out, guys. These products, unless they're boxed armies of like two forces, a bit like the Blood of the Phoenix box set, or actually the upcoming Ragnar Blackmane and Ghazghkull Thraka box set, unless they're box sets like that, or even Shadowspear, typically Games Workshop make these sets to last. They go to the trouble of getting the factory, the machines, everything like that to pump out these sprues, and if they go away for a couple of months or so, they eventually do come back. So never feel like you have to buy everything like now. It eventually does come back in some form or another. So yeah, I'm pleased I didn't buy those, because the rest of the Sisters of Battle are up for pre-order today, and I've pre-ordered all of them. They should be coming next Saturday, so we'll do a big unboxing of all of those. Speaking of which, on the Sunday they gave you a big preview. I kind of hoped and wished that this was the case, and Games Workshop, the community website, are now doing these videos, these sort of 2-minute videos showcasing all the pre-orders, which they never did before, but hey, you know, whatever works. They showcased the Regimental Squad, which looks fantastic. We'll go through these in more depth in a little bit. The Seraphim Squad, which are the ones with the dual pistols or the dual flamers or dual, Inferno pistols, yeah. And the Ephraim, which are the same kit, which is the bolt pistols and the power swords. They're a bit squidgy and not very strong, but there we go. The awesome looking pennant looks fantastic too. And then the Emulator as well. The Rhino, which is £35, Forge World Eat Your Heart Out. And Adeptus Sororitas, the Canoness. Many options for this Canoness, but in the same pose. Like the head is looking in the same direction in all of those poses. The arms are pretty much. The Imagifier, which is decently priced, I think. The Dialogus, the Battle Sanctum, which is very pricey. I think early looks at how much this was going to cost. I think there was predictions that this would cost less than the Rhino. That's a load of rubbish. This is actually quite expensive for what you get, and I think Games Workshop are going to be making a tidy profit off this one. I think it's £65. I'm sure that that's made in China as well, but there we go. Okay, and then there's the White Dwarf. So moving forward, there are a couple of other articles. Spanners, Psychic Awakening, the Cleansing Light. So building up to Machine War, which is the next Psychic Awakening book that I probably will get. I think I'll miss Saga of the Beast. I'm not sure yet. Games Workshop have asked a lot, or have provided a lot. They're not really asking a lot, but they've definitely asked a lot in terms of your wallet and your bank account by releasing all the Sisters of Battle, the rest of them, this weekend. They should have staggered it in 2 weeks, in my opinion, because I think probably the Saga of the Beast pre-order will be up next week. And to go from the rest of the Sisters, which is well over £200, to the Saga of the Beast box set and the book and all the rest of it, and not give you the option of buying those two characters separately, is it's a big ask. I think they've gone down the Blood of the Phoenix route, to be honest, and I don't think you'll be able to get these characters separately. This is just my feeling. I think you'll be able to get those two characters separately, but in 6 months' time, like they did with Blood of the Phoenix. Anyway, a little bit look at the Lumina Throwdown, revealed at Gamma. There were quite a few things revealed at Gamma. I put them on my Instagram. I always do that as soon as I see the quick news. Models look good for Necromunda. These look a bit silly though, with the dual poses, the twin poses. Even you can paint them completely different colours all you want, Games Workshop, but it's very easy to see that they're duplicate models. The Warhammer Underworlds Daughters of Cain models looks pretty good. This one looks amazing with this whip. Fantastic. And then Adeptus Titanicus. You've got the other two Cerastus Knights. The Acheron and the Castigator. Lovely knights. I love the Cerastus Lancer Knights. And these are just another great addition to them. And I'm pleased that they've done them because they released various books with them in. And there's this big push towards knights and having knight-only Titanicus sort of armies. And I'm pleased that they've done them justice. I wonder if we'll get the other Mechanicum type knights as well. And this is the new book, The Defensive Riser. And then for Age of Sigmar, more reveals for the Lumineth Realm Lords. The Archer looks amazing, but I think I have to tip my hat off to the Wizard. I mean, that screams Wizard all over. I'm not a huge fan of the headpiece at all, just from the physics side of things, of how heavy that must be. But the staff's quite decent, and the little tree, and how he's been lifted up by this magical kind of rune platform thing. That it's a lovely model to rival the Zinch one. And then for 40k, we've had a preview, little pictures there of who is the spider. Well, clearly it's Fabius Bile. Maybe he's bigger now, but this one here looks like he is harvesting the gene seed. Maybe he's trying to find a cure for the coronavirus. Who actually knows? But that's one of his assistants. Looks good, great for Chaos players. I don't think I'll dive into Fabius Bile though. but I'm definitely interested to watch other people's videos about the models. But Realm Lords I'll try and pick up. Okay, moving forward then, there's a rumour engine, that's clearly some kind of orc weaponry. There was kit focus for Seraphim and Zephyrim, that's pretty decent. Underhive Informant focus as well. And then the Siege of Terror, you've got the Fury of Magnus by Graham McNeil. I loved his books in the Horus Heresy, and that front cover is fantastic as well. We're not going to get that one until, I think, August. Yeah, Saturday 20. So the end of August we'll get this book. You'll be able to get it just from Games Workshop, they say, at the end of August in a limited edition hardback, and then you won't get it until November, which is an absolute joke, guys. I don't know about you. I haven't really heard many comments and things in forums, but I just think it's an absolute joke that they release a special edition of a book, and then they don't release the hardback until literally over 2 months later, and then they won't release the softback for another 2 or 3 months after that. Imagine if they did that in the video game scene. Just imagine that. You can't afford to do it, surely. You wouldn't be able to afford to release a £100 Doom Eternal edition and then 2 months later release like a steelbook, and then a couple months later release just a normal plastic edition. Games Workshop seem to be the only company, off the top of my head at least, that do these things. That they put so much emphasis into their exclusivity, and I'm getting quite sick of it, to be fair. They do it with the miniatures, with the box sets, like they'll do with Gazgul and Ragnar Blackmane, and they did it with Blood of the Phoenix, and they do it with their books as well. And you know what? I think it would have just been kinder and probably more profitable if they just release all 3 editions at the same time. You know, they can clearly do that, but they want you to buy the most expensive version and block you buying the normal versions for months, which is quite sad that they're relying so heavily on their exclusivity. But at the moment, guys, they can afford to do that. They're in a very, very good position. Then there was an article on Regimental Standard, Grot or Guardsman, Cataphrane Chronicle, Middle Earth one, the Battle Sanctum, the Archimancer Speaks. We spoke to the design studios. Of course, you're going to have an article with the designer of this scenery piece, because it's £65 at the end of the day. You can't just release a £65 piece of scenery and just put it out there. You have to have some kind of reasoning behind why it costs so much. And I think it is overpriced, in my opinion. Yes, it's tall and quite extravagant, but no, I think it's £25 too much. Then there was a look at the new Forge World tank, which finally, this is the final iteration of it. Personally, I believe this should have been released first. The Legion Arquiter Bombard with Heavy Morbus Bombard. It's a silly short range of 24 inches, like the Graviton Charge Pulse Cannon, I think it's called. Or Graviton Charge Cannon, sorry. But yeah, it looks very similar to the Plague Burst Crawler. Plague Burst Crawler is obviously all plastic. This is all resin, and this has unique resin parts for this model. But you can see where the design cues kind of came from Mortarion changing this into a Plague Burst Crawler, which they've miraculously allowed the Plague Burst Crawler to fire, I think, 48-inch range, and you don't need line of sight, so better in all aspects compared to this silly tank. Yeah, it can be yours for £95, which is quite expensive, but it is a new tank, and I would strongly suggest you go over. It's one of my recommended channels. Go over to Leaky Cheese's YouTube channel, and he's got I think he's got both of them at the moment. So if you want to see him unbox it and have a look what you get for your £95, I'd strongly suggest you go over to his channel and have a look. They're the rules. Look, yeah, silly range. I'm not sure why you'd go for the carcass shells. They are flashbane and they ignore cover, but the explosive shells at strength 10 and AP 2 are just, immense. It's just like a Vindicator, really. Okay, so that's the new tank. We'll have a look at that in closer detail very shortly on the 412 website. There was another role models article, and then army building faith 3 ways. This was very interesting because it gave you 3 different ways of building your Adeptus Sororitas army, and of course paying for multiple things like 30 Battle Sisters, which is what, over £100 or so. Elites, yeah, you need 15 Celestians, so that's another 40 odd pounds. That's 150 plus Junith, 180. They want you to have three sets of 5 Dominions, which, let's just say that's 270 plus your 90 for the Retributors, which is 360, plus 3 Emmulators, ouch, which is another 135, which is about 440 pounds. So yeah, of course they're going to want you to model this army if you're going to be paying almost £500 for it. Of course. And then they've got another one, which is Fast Faithful Firepower Army. Again, for some reason they want you to buy £225 worth of Emmulators. Of course they do. And then the Really Sorry Army, they want you to get Repentures, 3 Anchorites, which isn't too bad. But then they want you to get 6 Penitent Engines, and you can't buy a single Anchorite. So that's almost £200 worth of Penitent Engines there in that one. So yes, while these armies do look quite good on paper, in reality they're going to be £400-500 for each of them. So just bear that in mind if you want to follow those armies, if you want to follow those army lists. And then the big news, sad news. It's always sad when events get cancelled, but I kind of understand why Games Workshop are doing this. In light of growing concerns around the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, Adepticon 2020 has been cancelled. I'm not sure when it was going to happen. They don't say that anywhere at all, which is really quite odd. But it says it will bounce back in 2021. And I guess it was the end of March, because it says here Saturday 28th of March you've got a preview online, and then the 4th of April you've got another preview online as well. It also says, with no idea how this virus will continue to play on a global stage and what restrictions it will put on the rest of the Warhammer events calendar this year, we hope to have more news on Warhammer Fest and Warhammer World events soon. So just in case, we're going to give you a series of online events and reveals. So it's nice that they've got a contingency plan in order to advertise buying more and more models from them. Of course they would. They're a business. They'll just do it online, which is way cheaper than setting up these events and doing it there. But I'm not sure about Warhammer Fest. I have a gut feeling that it won't happen. I think we will all get our money back. There's no question there. But I just don't think it will happen, because it's going to be the start of May. We're in the middle of March now, a month and a half away. I still think there's going to be restrictions on gatherings and events and all kinds of things. So unfortunately, that's going to be it, I think. I don't mean to be all doom and gloom, but I just can't see Warhammer Fest happening, not at Birmingham, not at the NEC, and not with thousands and thousands of people going. Okay, so we'll leave that note aside. Let's look at Forge World and have a look at this tank. So it's right there on the front page. It does look quite nice. I think it's the nicest looking out of the 3, in my opinion. We go to pre-orders, and you've got these new bases, which I think are on Games Workshop's website as well. £3 for 28.5mm bases, and the Legion Arquita Bombard, £95. I might pick it up. It would have been at the Warhammer Fest, and I probably would have picked it up there, or pick up one of them there. You can see here, I put these pictures on my Instagram as well. But yeah, it's the nicest looking. I think the trajectory works. I think it could be a little bit lower, but overall the tank works. It works well with the autocannons too, all the heavy bolters. Up to you how you want to load it out. But yeah, nice little tank. But quite pricey. Very pricey. I don't think it's worth that price. I think it is overpriced. Compared to like a Sakaran, which is cheaper. You know, let's face it, this is now what the Land Raider Spartans were not too long ago. And if you buy these tanks, you're giving that positive message to Forge World that this is acceptable and this is okay. Always vote with your wallet. If you think this is expensive, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to accept it. If you don't accept it, they will still find the money to pay for new models and research and development and all the rest of it. You know, let's face it, for three of these tanks, which, you know, you possibly would have in a Horus Heresy army or game, you're talking of nearly £300 for 3 tanks. Let me just put that in perspective. I bought my Warhound Titan for, what, £250 years ago? Yeah, 3 tanks, £300? That's insane. But anyway, it's there, it's up for pre-order if you're interested. Let's go on to Games Workshop though, where we've got the rest of the Sisters of Battle releases. When I mean the rest of them, I mean all of them. They've put them all up for pre-order today. I put them high to low. And yeah, you've got this week's Adeptus Sororitas pre-orders. It is misleading because you don't get the Battle Sanctum in this. So you might click on this thinking that you're going to get all of them this week. You're not. It's a lie. It's not this week's Adeptus Sororitas pre-orders. It's not. You're not getting all of them. You're not getting that Battle Sanctum. I don't know why they've done this. Maybe they've done it from like a model perspective, but maybe they've done it from a price perspective, because you look at £205 and you think, that's still quite expensive for 20 models. But it would have looked a lot more expensive if it was £270 with the Battle Sanctum. But anyway, you can get all of them. You don't save any money, which is silly in my opinion as well. There's the Battle Sanctum, £65. Ouch. That's expensive. Is anyone thinking that they should have just had the statue separate to the building? I mean, it works like that when you painted the inside of the building. That works. And the building is pretty tall. And you can put the statue of Saint Celestine on the top of the building too. But how many sprues is it? It looks like it's just 1 sprue for the statue, and 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues possibly for the rest of the building. A couple of those might be duplicated. Looks like a thick box though. I think that's going to be quite heavy. But why could you just not have the statue itself, you know, individually? Maybe you have the statue for 25 and then the building for 40 or something like that. But yeah, baffles me, because that's quite an expensive. It's quite a large amount of money to drop on just a scenery piece, really. Let's have a look down here. So you've got, see what I mean about the hardbacks. You know, are they limited? Are they not? Some are, some aren't. There was a big hoo-ha before when these Siege of Terror books came out in hardback. They were like, oh yeah, they won't be around for that long and all the rest of it. And here they are, you know, a year later or so, £60 you can get all 3. No doubt if Warhammer Fest does go ahead, you'll be able to pick them up in hardback there. If you went down to the HQ now, I'm pretty sure that the hardback versions would be on the shelves. My best advice is, if you can get them from Amazon, do, because you save £5 or £6 or so from getting them from Games Workshop. Games Workshop, you don't get anything for getting them from Games Workshop, if that makes sense. So you might as well just get them cheaper from somewhere else. So £60 there. They're, you know, £20 each in hardback. You've now got the 4th book, which is Saturnine, I think it is, £50 for the limited version. No longer available online. I take it, you know, everyone is still frothing at the mouth for these limited edition books and is happy to pay £50 for all 8, which is £400 for 8 books, because it's no longer available. So they got snapped up pretty quick. Again, Games Workshop not learning any lessons about only having 2,500 of them. They should have double, in my opinion. especially if your hardback version isn't going to be around until 3 months later. Then you've got the Emulator, which, yeah, price-wise, 45. I would have liked to have seen it at 40, but then I know that the Exorcist is 50. Now, the Exorcist does have a lot more going on, I think, for that extra £5. But then it's sort of like a transport, but is it, again, Land Raider worthy? In terms of detail, possibly. We'll have to see. But I would have liked to have seen it at 40 and no more. I mean, I used to think these were like a Razorback, but if you look at all the detail and things, these go above and beyond a Razorback. I mean, if we just have a look at these, you've got the Hunter Killer there. You've got you've got a multi-melter, it looks like. Twin multi-melters you can have on there. So you can have the twin multi-melters, which do look pretty decent actually, or the twin flamers, heavy flamers, or the Emulator flamers, sorry, they're a bit longer range. You can have the heavy bolter there as well. Does look very nice. I don't know whether it's just worth 45. The tracks are separate, that's interesting. Well, some of the tracks are separate. You got that big cupola on the top. 1, 2, 3. Is it just 3 sprues? Not many sprues at all for the 45. We'll have to wait and see next weekend, guys. Check out the channel for the unboxing and first look and things. And then a Rhino for 35. Ouch. How much is a normal Rhino? Why is the normal Space Marine Rhino 2750 and the Chaos Rhino 25? You might as well just buy the Chaos Rhino because it's the same kit, just with a different upgrade sprue. That's odd, really odd. But all that detail, yes, the models look great, but you're paying extra for that. £35 for a Rhino. How much is a Rhino on Forge World? 42. I think they've recently gone up though. That's a bit sneaky. I'm sure they were 30 something. We could certainly get 3 of them for 100, but of course nowhere near the amount of detail that this Sororitas does. I mean, look at all of these things here. That's what you're paying for. You're paying the £10 for that extra sprue, and look how much you get on that sprue. You get completely different top hatch. You get the Hunter Killer, you get the Sister poking out, you get different smoke launchers, different heads, different filigrees, ribbons, different Stormbolter on the top, a sword. Oh, different side doors. Yeah, 2 reversible different side doors. So you do get a lot actually. Spoilt for choice. Do I have it with the... That looks really cool. I like that little servitor. Wow, I might get 2 of those actually. The plan was to get 2 of them anyway, but yeah, I think I'll pick up another one of those. Have one with the Sister out and one with the Sister tucked away somewhere, with the different doors as well. Yes, very decent. It's expensive, but I think that's just about worth it. That upgrade sprue is nice. Okay, moving back then. Let's have a look at this Seraphim Squad. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we won't look at the Seraphim Squad. Maybe something's happened. Okay, so the Seraphim Squad. There's 1 box set, but there's 2 squads. So if you get the Seraphim... is there a picture of the box? Okay, so the box shows Seraphim Squad. It doesn't look on the front that you can... But it says also builds Zephyrim. Maybe that'll be on the back. Bit confusing if you're new to 40k or to Sisters. But 1 box set will allow you to make either the Seraphim, which are these Sisters armed with dual pistols, dual hand flamers. Are they Inferno pistols, which are like these little melter pistols, good against high toughness units. So there you go. I think you get a plasma pistol for the Sister Superior. So that's what we kind of expected for the Seraphim. The Ephraim, the box set is good because it gives you different jump packs as well, or at least more ornate jump packs. I mean, look at those compared to those. I think there might be an extra element to glue on, to add. I really like the look of the Ephraim. I think the poses are quite decent too. This one with the flag. What's it called? It says bear a fluttering Ephraim pennant. It might be a pennant fluttering, so it's got to be that. But that is the Ephraim Squad. Yeah, lovely model. Look at that. That's amazing. And you get a dove with it as well. That model itself is, yeah, glorious. With the gold on there as well. Yeah, that is amazing. That's what I expected. So, really happy with those. Let's have a look at the Regimental Squad. Or not, because Games Workshop's website doesn't seem to be liking me right now. Yeah, let's have a look at the Regimental Squad. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the whip. I prefer the whip that came with the army set. Are there duplicate poses? I tried looking at this earlier, and there sort of are. Like, you can see that there are similarities between those two and those two, but they look very, very... I mean, it might just be one sprue. One big sprue, if you see what I mean. I can't tell is the real answer whether each individual pose is separate, but I do like these chainswords, these penitent eviscerators, and the superior you can have with a helmet or not with a helmet. Have we got a picture of her with a helmet? No. Ah well, you just have to use your imagination. But really liking the look of these. They'll go well with the army set Regimental Squad 2. You got the Cannon S. What more can we say about this? £22.50. I think she'll come in a box. Yes. So that will be okay. And considering she's going to be 2 sprues, she's got a lot of options. She's got it looks like a power sword, and then what's the other sword called? Blessed Blade, that's it. So look what she can hold. Chainsword, Power Sword, Blessed Blade, Null Rod or Brazier. So there's 5 close combat weapons there. And then the range weapons, she's got Bolt Pistol, Plasma Pistol, Inferno Pistol or Condemner Bolt Gun. So you've got a total of 9 different weapons to equip her with, which is fantastic. Here she is without helmet, just with the Power Sword and a Bolt Pistol, quite straightforward. Here she is with the helmet, lovely looking helmet as well, with like a little iron halo thing going on. There's some different heads. It looks like she's got 4 different heads, even different tabards as well. You know, she's got a grenade there and a book, and there she's got looks like a frag grenade and some beads, but she's got more beads there and a different icon. You've got a reverse fleur-de-lis and then an ecclesiarch symbol, and then she's got this lovely sheath there for the chainsword, I think. Who knows? But look at these. Look, you've got different. I might buy another one of those as well because they're fantastic models and they do look different. Like if you look at that one there compared to this one, I mean. She's got the tassets going on, and then here she hasn't got any tassets. So if you bought 2, they would look different. Yeah, I think I might do that. Okay, and then the Dialogus. Let's have a look at her. Don't think there are any options for her. I think what you see is what you get. You don't get any options. Lots of detail. I like the candles. Yeah, look at that. £22.50 for 10 parts, and even her body is only in 2 parts, so quite pricey, that Dialogus. More pricey than the Hospitaller. which was that the same price? Yeah, same price. Wow. Okay, so you're getting more options and more value for money with a Hospitaller than a Dial Ogre. So that's a bit of a shame. And then you compare it to the Canon S. Yeah, I think they're banking on more people buying more Canon S's than Dial Ogres. You've got you've got the Imagifier. I think that's reasonably priced, £17.50. If it was £20, I wouldn't go near it. But the Imagifier looks lovely here. Really, really lovely model. So this is 11 parts for a lot cheaper. Again, single pose, but beautiful model. Really, really beautiful. And you can get her with a helmet as well. So bear that in mind. Doesn't show it on the pictures anywhere, but I like her with that fleur de lis and a little bit of a look at her face underneath. I like that. Yeah, and obviously she'd go well near the... That must weigh an absolute ton though, come on. Let's face it. And then what else do we have for pre-order? Oh, we've got the White Dwarf coming out as well. And yeah, you've got the Citadel 28.5mm base packs too. So there you go, that's everything up for pre-order. I think I've covered everything that I possibly can. Please do put it in the comments below what you think of the news and, you know, like the events, unfortunately, and Arquita Bombard and all of these Sisters releases. Do you agree with me? Do you think they should have staggered the release over the past few months? Because we haven't had Sisters for 5 weeks or so now, I think, probably even more. And I've got a strong feeling that it will be Saga of the Beast up for pre-order next week, which really stretches people's wallets. But put it in the comments below if you are picking up any of the new models this week, and specifically the Sisters. Which model or models are you picking up from Sisters? Please do put it in the comments below. It's always great to read your comments. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.